This will be the fourth, I think. Let me check. Fourth. Yep, fourth. And hopefully the final video on how to complete the tutorial for the summer of 2023 Intro AutoCAD exercise. Still need to do the dimensions. Oh, and I need to erase that. I forgot. And make this into a closed polyline and get the area and perimeter of it. Starting with the dimensions, we'll make current the dimensions layer. And before I further forget, let me erase that green line there, enter. And let's see, I'll try to use this new dimension icon. Still a little weak with it. But, oh, do we have the current? Yep, we got the final dimension style current. So nothing will go wrong. And click there. Let's see. Click about there. And there. Enter for the icon again. Let's see, that smart icon will know when to put the R for radii and the circle slash for circumference. As long when you're clicking on an arc or a circle. I'm not sure what looks like 180 degree arc is read as dimensioned by radius. Not sure what something 270 degrees would be detected as. Let's see, let's do that one at the top here. And do I snap at that quadrant? Yeah, let's go to the quadrant, and then I want to, okay, I guess I got lucky. The quadrant directly above it, and I'll click OK. Now notice on the paper printout, these magenta lines are going to cover up after the green lines. So when you're done, it's wise to isolate the dimensions layer and set everything into the background. Let me show you how to do it for just this one. I may remember to do it at the end. Drop down the modify and click on this draw order flyout, or DR is the type in. We want to set this particular dimension, we want to send it to the back of the stack of stuff so that the green will cover it up when it's printed. Click on send to back. So select objects, click on one or more dimensions or all of them and hit enter. Now that little magenta line is covered under the green line. Keep going here, smart dimension. Oh, snap at the red center line. Come on up. Quite like the handout. Close. And what else? These two diameters at the bottom. Let's see. We want the smaller one at the bottom. And the bigger one at the top. Looks like you can keep going and going with this icon. Don't have to hit enter, enter. All right. Now we got to do the angle and a few linears. I shouldn't have erased that. Can I oops it back? Let's see. OOPS will unerase. Let me hit escape to get out of the smart dimension icon. OOPS enter. Yep. Oops is the command that'll erase the last thing you erased. Erase several things. I'm not sure. I hope it would erase the whole set if you last erased, but at least it'll unerase the last object. Anyway, let's draw some guidelines from the end of this 40 unit guideline here, from the center of the bottom of the machine part over to the center of all the radii, or arcs, I should say. Let's draw a line from there to there, and from there to there. We might scale them a bit. So on the dimensions layer, so we get everything magenta. Actually, there is a way we can do this without those guidelines. Let me show you that. Let's see. Well, I'm tempted to stop the recording. Let me proceed and plan A here. Enter, enter. There. Double check it did go to the center of the center mark there. Let's scale these guys to make them longer. Let's see, shouldn't take much, maybe 1.4, enter. Okay, let's see, smart dimension. We want to do angular. Don't know how to do it without clicking the angular option. We'll pick these two lines I just drew, place the dimension up high. There. Moved it close enough that we don't have that little gap between the lines and the what do you call it, dimension line. So shift the 35 degrees a hair to the right. Selected it with no command active. Click on the middle grip here and slide it over. The O snaps at the end of that dimension line. That looks reasonable. Might raise this guy a hair to get equal white space between dimensions. Okay, what do we have here? I need well, let's dimension this 65 and then worry about airbrushing the purple if necessary. I'll click the smart dimension icon. Again, I don't know if I can right click or what to do, so I'll click on angular option. Click on that dimension line, click on this red line, come on out, place the dimension, place it there, enter space bar to finish. I'll select the text and slide them down, not quite that far. All right, I'm going to turn off the O snap, set it right about there. Turn back on the running O snaps. F3 is another way to turn on and off the O snaps. All that's left is that 40 unit. Smart dimensioning endpoint. Endpoint, come on down. There. Let's erase that green again. Regular window that only selects what it completely encloses. Ah, check it out. You got a magenta line there. We could put a wipeout. A wipeout is a cloak of invisibility and then turn off its frame. But I think I can select this and slide that grip down into the red area here. And that way it restores that space. Now we do have a magenta instead of red. So I'll use that draw order again. Again, probably wise to remember to do it at the very end, but we'll click on Send to Back on this flyout toolbar. Select Enter. Now the red is thought to be newer than the magenta. Okay. Now I would like to have that. I'm tempted to draw a dimension line from there to there. Let's see if I can slide that grip. I doubt it. Can't remember if this works or not. All right, it shifted that a hair. I'll turn off snap again. Okay. What am I missing? Oh, let's slide these a hair further out. They're too close to that dimension line I created to do the angle. I think it's sort of kind of actually outside, isn't it? There. And this one. There. Zoom back out. I hope I got everything. Okay. Save your file, preferably to your first name, blank space final.dwg. Now I need to get a polyline in this shape. There's two ways to do it. I'll do them both ways and they should come out with the exact same numbers. I want to copy all the green stuff out of the view, either down or far to the right. Now I could freeze the center layer and the dimension layer, but let me show you. This icon right here is isolate layers. Yeah, isolate. So that'll lock all other layers. Depending on, I believe there's a setting on whether they fade out or disintegrate. When we're finished, we'll go to unisolate to restore the locked layers. Let's click isolate. It says select object on a layer you want to isolate. I'll click on anything that's blue and hit enter. You can isolate multiple layers. You just want to isolate the object layer. Enter. Okay. Again, I think there's a setting someplace. Might be on the options. There's a setting someplace you can have it fade out. The locked layers fade out. But we can work with this. So zoom back out. I want to copy this a couple of times. I'll move it straight down. And I'll make another copy a hair to the right. Now this one I'm gonna trim everything away, trim and erase everything that's green except for this outline. Then I'll join it, then I'll list it and find the area and perimeter. This one I'm going to take the shortcut of cross hatching with the boundary method, and then move the closed polyline created with by cross hatching boundary. What else? Okay, let's trim all this away. I can easily erase a lot of stuff. Enter. Now I'll trim. Everything's a crossing edge. Now here's the tricky part. I'm going to double check. I think because the red layer is frozen, the little whisker there did not bite me. Okay, let me hit enter or space bar to complete the trim. I'll select these. And there's just a single grip at the bottom. That's a good sign. Sometimes, depending if you trimmed it before, while the red layer, the center layer was still visible, there might be a hair of the circle continue down past down to the quadrant of the circle. Well, I'll show you on the other copy. I'll hit escape or hit enter to get out. Zoom out, double check. There's only one grip in each corner. And do I have redundant? I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ooh, it says 4 items are selected. That's interesting. I'll hit escape. Three, 4, 5, 6. Now, why did it say there are 4 items? Okay, let me select them all again. Still 6 objects selected. So I don't believe there's a double object anywhere. If you got the same line drawn on top of itself, it'll complicate this list routine. Okay, let's maybe I should go to the text layer, but let's go to the list icon. LI or LS is a type in, or just click the list icon on the drop down section of the properties panel of the home tab. List. Oh, I forgot to join it all, didn't I? Modify. The 2 arrows point to point. I'll zoom in for good measure. There it is. Zoom back out. Close this. Not sure if Zoom shows it or not. We'll go to join and window everything, enter. Select it. Good. It is a single 1 polyline, and yes, it is closed. I'm going to select everything again. Double check. Nope, it is just 1 polyline. There's nothing, no short little 0 length lines or anything visible. Oh, did I suppose I could unisolate the layer? Yeah, I'll hit escape, unisolate to restore everything. Getting back to that little whisker. If you trim it while the red is still shown, it might just cut the circle there, leaving that piece of the circle before this arc tinge blends into the circle. A couple times I've had those little whiskers, and I'm sure I'll miss them again because sometimes they're so small you don't see them until you zoom in real close. But that good, since the red was frozen, when I trimmed the bottom of the circle, it went up to this joint, to the start of this arc, not the intersection of that red. Where are we? Oh, list command. Click list, select it. Got 1 item found, still good, and it is a, oops, I don't know why it don't give the proper, anyway, click enter. Now there's my numbers, and I believe they are perfect. Problem is when I go to copy paste these, it interprets that as another enter to continue. So watch what happens. I click. I haven't even dragged across them yet, and it continued. So let's enlarge the text window. And there's the area and the perimeter. I'll click and drag across. Control C to copy to clipboard. I believe you can right click and pick copy to clipboard. Let's reduce, whoops. Okay, it went down. Let's we're on dimensions layer. Probably should be on text, but let's start multi-line text. And within the text editor, I'll right click and paste. And there's the numbers. Click outside to lose. I recognize 3967 and 5677. Okay, now the easy way, which should get identical numbers, is to drop down this crosshatch icon. I teach crosshatching with patterns in intermediate class. That is level 2. But I want you to learn just this amount, this one trick with crosshatching. Select boundary style of crosshatching. Click pick points. You want to click in an open area. Click dead center of this. You can very, very faintly see white dotted lines over the green. Enter to finish. Now there's the magenta closed polyline on the dimension layer. Now sometimes we can select that to move. Other times it's okay, good. I clicked right on the stack and it selected the newer stuff. That closed polyline I just created. By the way, let's double check it is closed. It is a polyline, and yes, it is closed. Good. Okay, escape to deselect, select it again, enter to finish the selection set. I'll slide it over here. We'll do the list and copy paste again into MTeX. List, select, enter. And there's the area again. I try to select those 2 lines and it thinks it's hitting enter. So scroll back up, or selected that much. Control C will copy to clipboard, or right click and pick copy. Click in open space and it shoots back down to the 3 visible lines I recommend. Click multi-line text. What happened? Okay, why is enter still, or list still going? All right, I guess the window wasn't tall enough. Where was I? Multi-line text. Make the window big enough. Control V is in Victor, or within the text editor, right click and pick paste. Numbers I got from list of the closed polyline made by the boundary icon on the hatch flyout toolbar are the same as done the better, more elegant, more official, smarter way of trimming down and joining. I'll hit outside. Okay. And what do we want to do? We can copy one of these up there and delete the, let's do that. I guess I went out of the way. Actually, let's move that text. We'll move either one of these texts up. Actually, the handout might be better if we move the closed polyline up too. Yeah. There. Zoom in, double click on the text. I want to delete all these blank spaces, enter. Click outside of the text editor or click close text editor. I'll move it over later. Notice the white space is too big. Check this out. We'll match properties. It's asking for source object. I would use the word governing or controlling object. This is the one that's got the correct style, height, and line space factor and justification. Although the handout appears to be left justified. Click there. Interesting, it shifted, but that's okay. We'll move it back. Maybe to compact the drawing a little bit, I'll move them closer together. Move that text to gain a little more, or reduce the overall footprint of the drawing. These I don't mind if you leave behind. Just make sure when you plot it out, none of it, if you plotted it out, they wouldn't be in the plot. Double check. I think I've done everything. And again, there's the numbers that I told you that would be perfect. Again, if you're within 0.5%, and say that's close enough and not worth hunting to find the distance. If necessary, I can overlay mine by copy pasting it into yours and zoom in and see where the gap is. Zoom real close. There should be white space between yours and my shape, exposing the error. Double check. That finishes it. I'll come around. I want you to have this on your screen. And I'll interrogate you. Show me your dimensions. Okay, width. Yeah. And color. Yeah, looks good. Show me your text style. Okay, does it match text style? Final, New Times Roman, bold, width, oblique. Always leave height 0. Yep. Okay, dim style. Scroll over to dim style. Modify. No center marks. Final text style. Fit. Use overall scale set to 35. And both leading and trailing zeros suppressed. You might tweak the angles, but it's rare that anybody would design for more precise than 1 degree. We'll close. What else? Might tell you click on your sample and yup, it's a polyline. Yup, it's closed. Turn off and on the line weights to show me you know where the status bar button is. Okay, that'll complete the 4th and final video tutorial of how to do this final exercise for Intro AutoCAD in the summer quarter of 2023. See you next class.